it all began on a quiet morning when Samuel heard strange cries outside his wooden home. At first, he thought it was just a stray cat, but when he and his wife Clara opened the door, 3 wide-eyed bobcat kittens lay trembling on their porch. Clara whispered, "Sam, they're not house cats." And she was right. Their paws were too big, their ears tufted, their bodies sturdy even though they were so small, but they were helpless, alone, and cold. Samuel's heart soft. Inside the house was Daisy, their gentle, golden retriever. Daisy had raised litters of her own pups years ago, but now she was spayed and living a calm life with her family. Samuel Hesatides were wild kittens. After all, but Clara bent down, scooped them gently, and brought them inside. The moment Daisy saw the 3, she wagged her tail slowly and lowered her head. She sniffed them, one by one. Then she did something Samuel and Clara would never forget. She'll lay down on the rug and let the kittens crawl onto her warm fur. She licked their tiny faces and pulled them closer with her paws, as if saying, "Don't worry, little ones. I'll be your mama." From that day on, Daisy became their world. The kittens were named Luna, Ash, and Cedar. Every morning, they would follow Daisy's golden tail around the house, pouncing and tumbling over each other. When Daisy ate her food, the kittens sat nearby and waited until Clara gave them their own tiny bowls. At night, they never slept alone. They burrowed against Daisy's chest, purring softly as she dozed, one big paw resting protectively over them. Neighbors who visited couldn't believe their eyes. "That's not a normal cat litter," one said, chuckling nervously. Samuel and Clara knew that one day they couldn't keep them. Bobcats were wild animals, and though small now, they would grow strong and need the wild. Still, those weeks in the house were filled with laughter, surprises, and love. One afternoon, Samuel found Daisy lying on the porch, 3 kittens clinging to her back as if she were their personal carriage. Another evening, Clara saw Daisy teaching them to lap water properly from a bowl. It was as if Daisy knew they weren't hers by blood, but loved them no less. But time was moving forward, and reality couldn't be delayed forever. When the local wildlife rehabilitation center arrived, Samuel and Clara explained the situation. With heavy hearts, they surrendered Luna, Ash, and Cedar, knowing it was the right choice for their future. But the first night in the center was heartbreaking. The kittens wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink. They lay curled together in a cage, mewing pitifully, searching for the warmth of the golden retriever who had become their mother. The staff grew worried and called Samuel and Clara. Clara's voice trembled as she said, "If they won't eat, let us bring Daisy." The moment Daisy stepped into the center, her ears pricked up at the sound of faint mews. She pulled forward, tail wagging furiously. And when the staff opened the kitten's cage, the most heart-melting moment happened. Luna, Ash, and Cedar leapt toward Daisy, crying out. In relief, they licked her face, rubbed their bodies against her fur, and pressed close, purring so loudly it filled the room. Daisy lay down, letting them climb all over her. It was as if nothing else mattered in the world. For the first time since being separated, the kittens ate their food because Daisy was with them. Samuel wiped his eyes. Clara whispered through her tears, "Family isn't always about blood. Look at them. She is their mother." Over the following weeks, the center worked with Samuel and Clara. Daisy visited often, making sure Luna, Ash, and Cedar felt safe and loved as they grew stronger. Slowly, the staff introduced them to a more natural diet, preparing them for the wild. By the time the kittens were ready to be released, they had grown into strong, beautiful young bobcats. On the morning of release, Daisy was there. Her 3 adopted babies rubbed against her one last time, purring, licking her muzzle as if to say goodbye. Samuel knelt by Daisy, stroking her head. "You did something no human could do. You gave them a chance at life." The cages were opened, and Luna, Ash, and Cedar stepped out into the wild. They paused only once, turning their heads back. For a heartbeat, it looked as if they were saying, "Thank you." Then, with bounding leaps, they disappeared into the trees. Daisy stood tall, watching them go, tail wagging slowly. There was no sadness in her eyes only pride. She knew her little ones were where they belonged. Clara hugged Daisy tightly. You'll always be their mother. Nothing will change that. Love is not limited by species, shape, or blood. It is measured by the heart. Daisy taught us that true motherhood and true family is built on love, loyalty, and selfless care. Sometimes, the greatest love we can give is letting go when the time comes, knowing we have given someone the strength to live their own life.